And we're live. Hey everyone. So I'm here with Big Gabe, aka StuffedBurrito Entertainment, and we're here to talk about a movie that's very dear to our hearts. Something that we've been wanting to talk about. We've been throwing this idea around for how many months now? Like 3 months to do like a hangout,
Yeah, since its theatrical
yeah, and
release.
talk about basically Edge of
Mm,
Tomorrow. We're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about the Flash pilot, and we're going to talk about Daredevil, the TV series, because a lot of stuff was released yesterday from New York Comic Con, and so we want to highlight that. And we'll talk about whatever else that people bring up. If you guys have like any topics that you want us to talk about or any questions, put them down in the comment section below, and then we'll try to get to them. Hopefully it works this time when it comes to the comments because we had issues last time. So, anyways,
yeah.
let's dive into Edge of Tomorrow. And basically, me and Gabe love. Would you say you love the movie? Or am I
Yes,
overstepping by
yes.
saying that?
No, it's probably underselling it. I mean,
Okay.
it's I mean, it's here. It's mine.
Yes, I have it here too. Like
Yeah.
it's not even in the pack. It's actually in my DVD player because I've been watching it so much. But okay, this movie, I would have to say, when I remember seeing the first trailer for it when Jose Romero actually showed it to us, and I remember we were like in a Skype call, and the way we reacted towards it was like, okay, that's a movie, like we weren't really that excited for it, and I don't know what happened, like something, I guess the second trailer came out that it finally clicked for me, and I got really excited for the movie.
Mm.
So, how was it for you? Like, how was your the development of your relationship with this film from beginning to when you finally saw it?
It's kind of funny because everybody always says that it was marketed poorly, and I guess I don't know. I never felt that because I was excited from the get go, just because I like Tom Cruise. Is from a decent director, the director of Go. Everybody always brings up all the other movies that he's done.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was a sci-fi movie. It's like anything sci-fi, I'm willing to check out. I'm willing to give it a shot. I was definitely curious when I first saw the teaser and then the second trailer. I mean, everybody. Let's face it. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's like Groundhog Day," or the one that pisses me off, which I never I never got. Oh, it's like Oblivion. It's nothing like
Because
Oblivion.
it has Tom Cruise in it. Wow, the
And
relations
he's
are
always
so
doing
accurate.
sci-fi movies. He's always doing sci. If you look at his resume, he's got like four sci-fi movies, and they're like spread apart, except for Oblivion and Edge. But yeah, no, I was, I guess maybe not invested right away, but definitely, I was curious.
hmm Um, I think what really helped was the song attached to the trailer. I remember getting a little obsessed with it. This
Mm-hmm.
is not the end. Like that song, I played that so many times, and I love that song even till this moment.
Yeah,
So that was like one of the things, and just like I think what really like helped the hype for it was because again, Jose, shout out to you. Like he saw the movie like weeks in advance, and
yeah.
he was like really excited about it. And he's like, the movie, like this movie is amazing. And I know he was hyped about it before, but like the way he was going about it got me really excited.
Right.
And then just
Yeah.
finally seeing it, it was like this is a sci-fi movie that I haven't seen in a while. Like we haven't had a sci-fi movie like this for a pretty long time. Like the feelings that I got while watching this movie, I would say were the same feelings I felt watching Aliens. Like it
Mm,
had that same, I don't know, maybe because Bill Paxton was in it, I don't know, but like that was like got that same like good feel to it from watching the
mm,
movie. Like I I'm like I became pretty. pretty obsessed. I mean, I think I still am pretty obsessed with the movie overall. I mean, I bought the novel that it's based on, which is kind of funny. Like, a lot of people seem to be confused as to the source material of Edge of Tomorrow. Like, I've seen people say it's based off of a manga, which is not accurate.
It's
It's
not
actually
true.
based on a novel that doesn't have any photos in it. It's just words. And
What?
then, yeah, I know words. And then of course the graphic novel came out, the American version. It's like basically the cliff notes of the novel and with pictures. For those who don't like reading, you like pictures.
Mm,
Um, so I would say I became pretty obsessed because there's just something great with the balance of Cage and Rita, and it's something that we don't often see in sci-fi movies where you have a very strong male character and a counterpart of a very strong female character
mm,
that is almost stronger than the male character. It's kind of like Ripley is in the Alien series. I think that's the other thing that I go back to that when it comes to like sci-fi and even Terminator in a way with Sarah Connors. Even though the Terminator was always stronger than Sarah Connors, like you can't debate that. So
I remember watching it. I didn't see it opening weekend, but I think I saw it the following week. And just from the get-go, I was just the tone of it, the atmosphere of it, it had me. Um, what surprised me was the amount of humor it had. I really thought it was going to be a dead-on serious film, and I found myself laughing with glee. Like, I mean, there's that part where obviously this is a hangout. We're discussing this movie, so spoilers will be
yeah, discuss.
mentioned. The
Yeah.
part that made me laugh is when they're doing push-ups and
I know what
Cruz
you're
is
talking
trying
about.
to roll over. He's trying to roll and get away from his squad. And his first try gets killed. And Bill Paxton, what the hell were you thinking? That was like, oh my god, this movie's special. This
I
movie's like,
remember. Well, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think the first scene that had me laughing out loud was the moment where Cage is running towards Rita and he
I
gets
mean,
hit by the truck. That had me laughing so hard because I was not expecting it and it just
mhm,
happened and I was like, okay, now I know the tone of this movie. I like where they're going with this. Like definitely.
mhm.
It's not a serious, not an overall serious movie. They're gonna have like these funny, kind of corny moments, but they work for the film.
Yeah, what I liked was the fact I was nervous in the fact that, oh my god, it's gonna keep repeating itself, it's gonna get repetitive, but they seemed that they balanced it out so well that it felt so fresh with every repeat. Everything was changed. It was just it was the way it was constructed was very creative, and it never got repetitive ever at all, and that's what I love about it. I just remember the scene when they're headed to the Louvre and they're
Hmm.
being attacked. That's when it hit me. That's when I'm like, I want this movie. I can see myself watching this movie again and again. I cannot wait till it's on Blu-ray,
You
and I can watch it whenever I want. You have the
can put it
DVD
down and watch.
because Rita, she's so special. Um, yeah, I mean, you say you told me you've seen it like 5 times.
Oh, more of that. Ever since owning, I watched it 3 times.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but like, there's
Wow.
2 times that I literally sat through it. The third time was more like background noise, but I just wanted to have
Yeah.
it on. But yeah, I've probably seen it like 8 different times, and I just love watching it with other people and seeing their reaction to it because I tell a lot of people like this movie's really good, and they don't believe me. I think that was the most frustrating thing about this film. Like when it came out and after I saw it, I couldn't stop talking about it. I kept telling people this movie is really good. You gotta go see it. And people were like, oh no, I don't want to go see it. It doesn't look interesting. Like there was so many people that were so against this film, and
Hmm.
like for reasons that I'm not exactly sure, maybe anti Tom Cruise, or maybe the trailer didn't do anything for them. Like I'm not exactly sure the reason why people were so against this film, but I remember being like so excited about it that I kept talking about it with like as many people as I could in
Mm,
person, just to tell them like go out and support it, go see the movie. Especially because, as we know, the movie didn't do that great in the box office, which is very unfortunate. It's one of those frustrating things where you see a movie like this, it's so great and so original in a sense, not do well in the box office, and then a couple of weeks later you see Transformers make $1 billion,
yeah, that
worldwide.
hurt.
You're like, come on, people, like seriously. And I don't know. And but the thing is that I talked about this movie so much to people who didn't believe me it was a good movie, and then later on they come and tell me, you're like, yeah, I finally saw it, and you were right, it was really good. I'm like, exactly. Like, I wish you guys went and supported it at the box office and watched
Mhm.
it. It's
You
just
know,
so sad.
what gets me is the fact that it came out the same weekend as Fault in Our Stars, and 10 years ago, if you had said that a movie about a you know a movie about cancer, a teenage romance, and something that's sentimental, if you told me that that was going to uh, beat a Tom Cruise movie at the box office, I'd say you're crazy. But the fact that it happened, it's I mean, not that Fault in Our Stars, I mean, it's a great film,
Yeah, it is.
but I mean, I just really wish that the love would have been spread out. Got Fault in Our Stars, then you got Edge of Tomorrow. Maybe people
Yeah.
do a double feature. And that it was frustrating that people just would not go see Edge of Tomorrow. I mean, I didn't get it. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of it was because they were anti Tom Cruise. I mean, everybody kept saying he keeps doing sci-fi movies. That's not true.
No, it's not.
But it did make a lot of money overseas, and it got its money. It made its budget back. Um, the DVD and Blu-ray sales seem to be doing very well.
Which I'm curious to see what's the final number for that, because you talked about this already, but on Skype. But uh, when I went to go get the movie, like I went to Target, and in the back of Target, for those who've been to Target, they have all the new releases display, and the rack for Edge of Tomorrow was absolutely bare. There was no Blu-rays, there was no steelbooks, there was no DVDs. It was just absolutely bare, and I was nervous. I was like, what? I'm not gonna get the movie. But and then I went to the front, and they had like this one small rack, like in the front, like in between these like two like Coke machines, and they actually had like 4 DVDs left, and maybe 3 steelbooks left, and a few Blu-rays left. But I was really surprised. Like, this was the first day it was released, and the fact that it completely got sold out, at least at the back end of Target, really
Yeah.
took me off guard. And I know a lot of people were saying that they went to Target to get either the Steelbook or the Blu-ray, and they couldn't find it. And then, you've had your experience with that in a sense, I guess, right?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it because Jose Romero actually made me paranoid. He said, "You better pre-order it because it's gonna sell out." And I'm like, "All right, fine." I pre-ordered it 2 days ahead of the release, and it wasn't gonna come the day of. But the fact that it still hasn't arrived, so I was like, "Screw it." I took your advice. I found myself going to Target again this weekend, and I took a chance, and they had the steelbook. They only had like 3 left, and I'm like, oh, I only need one. So when that pre-order comes, I'll just send it back. Be like, screw you guys. Um, and yeah, even the regular DVDs still. And I went to a pretty big Target. The racks had a lot of holes in them. There weren't that many copies, so it's doing well. Which
Yeah,
I'm very happy. It's like, yes, there is justice in this world.
yeah.
Um, and I watched it last night with my family. My sister, I think she loved it. When it ended, she's like, bad ass. I'm like, good. My oldest niece was doing homework, and she couldn't really concentrate on the homework.
Hmm.
She was really enjoying it. My dad, this pretty old guy, you can't please old people. But I can tell he was having a good time. Like, my dad has like three, 3 or 4 rating systems. If he says that's a damn good movie, it's like a 5-star movie. If he says, yes, this is good, it's like a 4-star movie.
Uh-huh.
He's like, very interesting, 3-star. And she's like, interesting. That was, no, that wasn't. With this, he
Yeah.
was like, very interesting. So I'm like,
I
okay, good.
Yeah, my father, like, I've been trying to get him to watch it like for the longest time, and
Mm,
he finally sat down to watch it, but he couldn't really get into it. I was like, whatever, like, I'm not gonna force you into it. But regardless, maybe it's an age thing. I don't know, but
yeah.
I would say overall, most people that have seen it enjoyed it. I mean, there's always the critics out there that have an issue with the movie,
Mm,
and their criticisms towards it are sometimes not really founded. I mean, I've heard
mm,
different things, like people don't like the ending, which I guess I understand because some people would prefer not such a happy ending. They would have preferred
yeah.
something more serious, more grounded.
I was that way when I first saw it. I was that way.
Okay,
It's not that I
why were
didn't
you that
like
way?
it.
Okay.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just I really would have liked something more. I honestly, I know this sounds messed up, but I would have liked both characters to die. You know, like I would have liked if they died and the war, the threat is neutralized, the war goes on, and they become heroes. They become martyrs.
Mhm.
Um, but that didn't happen. And yeah, I did think it was a little predictable that they both made it. Everything got reset. I mean, I don't know. I would have liked at least one of them to have been sacrificed.
Mhm.
Um, or it's somebody told me the ending that the novel has. And it's funny because I hate spoilers, but it actually got me to want to read it more. Like it got me more interested. I like the outcome of the I can't tell me the whole outcome, but the setup of
Yeah.
the ending. And but when I saw it last night, I don't know. I actually liked it more. I liked that. I guess they got a second chance, to.
Finally be together, because in a way, like, Edge of Tomorrow is kind of like a love story, even though it's not really like heavy in the
Yeah.
movie. Like, it's kind of hinted, but it's not the center part of the film. Even though in a lot of ways, at least in the novel, the graphic novel and the original novel, like, it's really a love story between two characters, and the movie in
Mm,
a way is like that, but it's not, in your face and it gets obnoxious. And I know, like, some people don't like, romances in
yeah.
movies sometimes. They're like, why does that always have to be there? But it's part of the original story in a lot of
I,
ways. Cage's feelings
yeah.
towards Rita was something that developed, during time because of how often he was around her, because he kept
Hmm.
resetting and seeing her and being with her. But I was gonna say is the ending. Like, I didn't find it to be predictable. Like, it got to a point where I thought it was gonna end with both of them dying. I didn't think
Hmm.
it was gonna be a reset. I honestly was not expecting that. And personally, I actually like the reset because I do like happy endings.
Yeah.
In a very stereotypical way. Like, I wanted to see these two people like end up together at the end in a way that they gave me that, so that made me happy. I think if it ended with both of them dying, I would have came out of that theater pretty damn depressed after watching the movie. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
really sad. So I personally like the ending because I like happy endings, especially when it comes to, like, a love story.
Hmm.
And I was happy that Cage kind of got what he wanted at the end, and that's
Yeah.
basically to be with Rita.
Right.
Whether or not it ends up that way, because he's basically reset it and he's meeting her for the first time again
Yeah.
at the end. And also, I felt like maybe the WB felt like we can make this into a series of films, so
Hmm.
we don't want to like just end it there and then not have the opportunity to continue on to a second film. And I know a lot of people don't want a sequel from this movie, like they're satisfied with the first film and just leave it as that. But again, studios want to make money, and if
Hmm.
they see the opportunity to continue on the story and make another movie and make profit off of it, they're going to take it. So
Yeah. Look, I like when I was watching it yesterday. There's that scene where Rita wants to take off in the helicopter, and he, tries to delay her. And when he says why, I like that one line that he says. He says, you know, this is where you die. And it's like, what does it matter? And then he says, you know, I wish I didn't know you. To me, it's like that when you say yes, it's a love story, but it's not heavy. That just puts it into perspective. It's like it's not necessarily that he's in love with her. It's the fact that he cares for her. He's spent so much time with her, and he's seen her die, and it hurts him every time. And and yeah, that's why watching the ending again, I was like, you know what? He does kind of deserve this. He does deserve this second chance. So I'm glad that it did not end the way I guess wanted it to end with them dying.
Yeah. But what do you think of them creating either a sequel or prequel? Because supposedly rumor has it if the the home videos do well, that they're going to go with a prequel that's going to focus on Rita's backstory and what happened to her while she had the power. Which I feel like the movie itself didn't focus enough on Rita because the novel, like it highlights her backstory a lot, and the movie did not have that. So it's going to be interesting to see that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I do like the movie on its own. If it were a standalone movie, it would be one of those movies that I could watch again and again and just be satisfied every time. But if they all could have focused on Rita, oh hell yes. Absolutely. She's just so awesome, and I'm a big Emily Blunt fan. Which, I'm not sure I say it, I don't know why, maybe I'm just a really messed up person. I love her when she cries. She looks adorable when she cries. It's just
I remember like her crying in the movie.
No, not in the movie.
I remember her crying in the movie.
She did a movie called Your Sister's Sister.
Yes, that movie was interesting. I saw that. Actually, I went after watching Edge of Tomorrow. I actually did like a marathon of just like Emily Blunt movies. Like I watched like all her films, and that was one of them that I actually ended up watching.
But she cries a lot in that movie. It's like I feel so sad for her because she looks so adorable. It's weird. But I am a fan, so if they do focus more on her, oh, absolutely. I mean, I would like to know her experiences when she had the power and the guy that she was in love with. I would like to know more about that. So yeah, there's definitely room for a sequel. There's room for a franchise. At least one. Maybe not. Well, I guess a trilogy could work. But if you can give us a second film, yeah, why not? I mean, we need good sci-fi.
Yes, we really do.
We need alternates to stupid Transformers. That series is not gonna die. So keep this one going. Keep it alive. And
this is why it frustrates me when it didn't do good in the box office. Like, this is an actually good, well-made sci-fi movie, and people are not supporting it. What's going on with humanity at this moment in time? But in regards to Emily Blunt and Rita, I would say that going from Tumblr, because Tumblr, if you ever look at the tags for Edge of Tomorrow, like the majority are highlighting Rita and Emily Blunt, and there's like a lot of fan art of Emily Blunt as Rita, and I think that's one of the things that took me off guard, because going into the movie I thought that Tom Cruise was going to be the one that steals the show, that he was going to be like the top dog, and in a way I think Emily Blunt really stole the show as Rita. Like she was presented in a way that we've never seen her before, like this action star, and like some of the moves that she had when fighting. The moves was freaking awesome. Like you've never seen her like this as an actress. So that's why like seeing her in the movie, like she really like surprised me, and that's why I really like her in the movie, because I've seen Tom Cruise being an action star, So seeing her in that element was like freaking awesome.
Well, see, that's the magic of this movie. Tom Cruise is playing against type. He's he hates the sight of blood. He's timid. He's like, he tries to talk his way out of stuff. Instead of getting into fights and conflicts, but yeah, you see him. It's interesting to see him become a badass warrior, but it's great knowing that Rita Emily Blunt's character is a badass from the get-go, and
Hmm.
that's what I like about the movie. Is that I'm even watching it again. I'm like, Tom Cruise is this little twerp that he's this little punk, and Rita just comes. The way she's introduced,
Yeah.
the way she comes out of that gate with her entourage,
Yeah, I
it's
love
a
that
cool
stage of just
little.
walking. Yeah, you see
It's like,
her walking in the middle with
I
those
mean,
guys with the masks with the skeletons on it. Like, oh, that is such a great
right.
shot.
She's walking all badass. Tom Cruise is cracking up because they're about to get on the carrier. He's like walking away, like. I mean, it's like that's what makes that movie so great. It's Tom. We're seeing Tom Cruise as just
Unlike Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise normally
unlike
plays a
Tom
very like,
Cruise, yeah.
yeah,
And
like I think that's the other thing. Yeah, you're right, because in a way, Tom Cruise isn't really playing his stereotypical role where he's a bad. I mean, he gets to that point where he becomes a badass, but it's mainly thanks to Rita for training him to become that. But at the beginning, he's a very he's a chicken. He's scared
yeah,
of the whole idea of going into war, and he's a punk, as you would say,
yeah,
and yeah, and it's like you don't see Tom Cruise play that role. And yet here
no.
we are seeing him play that role, at least for like the first half of the movie, and then he gets to a point where he's playing Tom Cruise, which is fine. Like, I didn't mind. Like, he had some really awesome scenes as a badass action star. But yeah, like overall, Edge of
Yeah,
Tomorrow was an awesome movie.
it was warranted, like it's great to see him progress into a warrior, and I like Tom Cruise regardless. I love seeing him do his action thing, but it was great to finally see him be this little chicken but become a warrior. It makes it more satisfying.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, Rita, oh my god, it's Rita. She's so awesome.
So, anything else you want to say about Edge of Tomorrow, or do you want to move on to our next topic?
I I swear there's got to be something else. I mean, the score is amazing. You know
Yeah.
what?
The visual
When they
effects in this
first
movie were amazing.
yes, just
The
about to
practical
mention that.
effects that they used in this movie, like we don't get enough of that. Like the fact that
No.
they actually built the suits and they were actually in suits and they weren't CGI suits, it's like something you have to applaud them for because practical effects is something that's becoming non-existent in movies
Right.
because like most studios are like, let's just go with CGI this, CGI that,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie definitely try to make everything as realistic as possible with what they had, and it looked freaking amazing.
I think.
God, it was so
Well,
beautiful.
again, I think the effects are flawless. Like I didn't see anything that looked fake. There were times where I couldn't tell that whether they were practical or CGI. I mean, and that's a good thing. You don't want to be able to
Hmm.
tell. Uh,
Yeah.
and watching on Blu-ray where you can usually spot flaws, I didn't see any flaws. I really saw just a solid presentation. Just that first scene when the carrier explodes and they're all falling, and I love the way that's shot, the way it's presented. You see, you're following Cage down this drop, and you're seeing other people slam into each other, and then when they finally hit the beach, I mean, it's reminiscent of Private Ryan, I would say. Just
Yeah,
the whole
DJ.
surrounding. Yeah, I mean, I, just watching the movie, it gives you that satisfying feeling that a movie should. I mean, like there are times when I watch a movie and it's like it has some draggy moments, and I'm like, nothing dragged, nothing dragged. The pacing was perfect in this movie. Um, there was a post on Facebook a couple of
Uh-huh.
days ago which you responded to, and somebody was
Okay.
saying plot holes.
Mm-mm.
Plot holes were in this movie, and I kept trying to watch. I kept looking for plot holes, and I'm like, I don't see anything that's relevant, that's noticeable. So,
I don't think there is a legit plot hole in this film, and that's the thing that
no.
I loved about the movie because it's dealing with time travel in a sense, and normally that's really hard to do. And this movie just managed to do it in a way where you're not going back and being like, wait, that right there didn't make sense.
Mhm.
You know, like you're not overthinking anything. And if there is plot holes in this movie, honestly, I personally haven't been able to find a legit plot hole in this film enough
Mhm.
so to I can't even think of a plot hole, to be honest,
Mhm.
for even to even say this movie has any plot hole. In my personal opinion, I think the movie is pretty flawless when it comes to telling this story without having any errors in it. You know, when it comes to the time traveling and just everything about it. Like I don't understand when people say it has plot holes, because I think
Yeah.
whatever plot hole people say it has, I'm sure it's something that you can be like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense, because then you can refer to another scene where it explains
Mhm.
why this happened. So I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's the fact that like the later scenes, like when they go to see that is he a colonel or whatever, Brandon Gleason's character,
Okay.
um, and they're walking down the hallway. Says, "Hold on, wait here. One, two, three. Okay, go." See, we don't see that we get the sense that he's done it before.
Hmm.
And I wonder if they mean plot hole. If that's a plot hole that we never got to see his first try. I mean, you can see all the repeats. I mean, that'll be one incredibly long movie.
Exactly.
It gives
And
you that
redundant.
sense. Yeah, exactly. It gives you that sense that he has done this before. I mean, it's very simplistic in a way where it doesn't give you every bit of information. You don't need it. It gives you just enough information to enjoy the movie, to think for yourself. Oh, okay, so he has done this before. You kind of wonder how many times has he done it. But
Exactly.
it's like you don't have to have that information in your face.
Exactly.
So,
Like we didn't see
um,
the first time that he was running with his crew. You know, they were like running. That part we don't see it the first time when it happens. And there's a lot of several scenes that we don't see the first time it happens, but you're just supposed to assume that it happens. Like you gotta use your imagination when it comes
sure.
to a movie. Like everything can't be like explained to you and shown, because that would be dumbing down the audience in a lot of ways if
Oh,
you do
yeah.
that.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be something else. I mean, the casting was great.
Yes, of course.
It was so great. J Squad. I do remember that one problem I had was the fact that they didn't really show enough of them and they weren't
Hmm.
developed. But then I thought about it, it's not their story. I mean, they're great characters and it'd be great to see more of them, but it's not their story.
Yeah, exactly. But
So again, it just gives you just enough information to like them, to not, you know, to kind of feel bad for when they do die.
hmm
Um, I mean, we talk about this movie all night, but
yeah, but like in the original story, the focus is always on Rita and Cage. Like that's mainly like all these other secondary characters. I mean, there were certain other characters that didn't appear in the movie that they changed, but they were
mm,
never like big players. You know, they were never as big as Cage and Rita. And the fact that we saw these people as much as we did in this film is something
mm,
that people should be glad that we saw them as much as we did. Because if they went with how the original story was told, we would have barely saw them. They would have been like background, like stand-ins, basically,
mm.
if they went with how the original story went. So I personally like the way they handled the J Squad and Bill Paxton's character and any other secondary character in the movie. I think they did a fine job balancing them out throughout the whole film.
That's pretty much it. I mean, what can you
Yeah.
say?
That
We
is,
love it. It's definitely, I would say, in the top five of my list. But
yeah, for sure.
in fact,
Whether or
I
not it's like,
might even change my rating because I know you're not into ratings, but I originally gave it a 4.5. I don't know. It's kind of feeling that vibe right about now. Just because it's such a satisfying movie. I mean, I was so worried that with my second viewing, I was gonna slightly lose that little. No, I mean, if anything, I gained it because I appreciate the ending more. I appreciate that's the thing. I think a lot of people who have complaints really do need to see it again.
hmm
I know that that's like a cliche. Everybody's always saying, you need to watch it again. Like, but this is a movie where you should, and why wouldn't you want to watch it again? It's a gorgeous movie. It's got great characters, a lot of humor. it is the essential popcorn blockbuster that we deserved.
Yeah, and it
Instead of
has the
all this other
rewatch value that you can watch
stuff.
over and over again.
Yeah. I only wish it had commentary. I don't listen to commentaries much, but I
This is
really
one
love
of
to have
those, right?
good
Yeah,
commentary on
I
it.
would have loved for them to add a commentary, but I think it's one of those things they probably will do a re-release and then add a commentary because you know how they are. It's like
And I'll get it. I'll
a
get
couple
it.
months later they'll release it
I love this.
again. This time they'll have like the box
I'm
set
gonna
that
put
looks freaking
something out.
awesome and all that, and then they'll have the commentary for it. But yeah, I think we basically said everything that we can probably
Yeah.
say for Edge of Tomorrow, like the stuff we've been holding in for like so many months that we
So
might have been
many, yeah.
talking about it. But we're gonna
I don't
move
know
on.
what you're telling me. I don't know what you're telling me that you felt like you needed to see a shrink. You know, you needed to talk to somebody. I want to point something out real quick. Just the fact that the little black card that came with I mean it's on your DVD too. With his mouth.
What is it? Oh, it's
That says something.
not
They show that says something. Who's calling me? I don't have time to answer the calls. The
hangout.
fact, I mean, you always see Tom Cruise in all his glory, and just looking all handsome. He's here with duct tape on his mouth.
Yeah,
That's just, I don't know.
that
I
right
don't,
there. Okay, so the movie came out on Blu-ray, DVD, and also a special steelbook which you get at Target. Came out this past Tuesday. So if you
yes.
haven't seen the movie, and by any means, whatever we said here, gave you the urge to watch it, please support this film. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so
But
let's move on
but
to yeah, and buy it. So let's move on to the Flash
what?
pilot and our thoughts on it.
Flash.
Ah, wrong
Oh,
Flash. But yeah, so the Flash pilot did air on the CW this past Tuesday on the same day that Edge of Tomorrow. Was it Tuesday? Yes, it was Tuesday. Yeah, that Edge of
yes.
Tomorrow came out on home video. Now, I already posted my review talking about my thoughts on The Flash. Uh, Summary of that is that I really enjoyed it. I was very caught off guard. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did because, in my personal opinion, I would have preferred a Flash movie over a TV series, but I can't control that. So I guess I have to, swallow the TV series and, just deal with it. But yeah, if you want to know my thoughts, like my in-depth thoughts on the TV series, you can check out my review for it. But with that said, Gabe, what did you think of it?
Okay.
It was okay.
No, not being the biggest Flash fan, not really knowing a lot about the character. Uh, I just went into it wanting to, just hoping for something entertaining. CW shows are not my favorite. They all have the same type of cliches and whatever. So I didn't go in extremely judgmental, but when I sat down and watched it, I liked the tone of it. I liked the pacing of it. And the visual effects were for a network show were decent, not great, just decent. I don't know. Honestly, some of the effects were pretty bad, to be honest.
Oh,
But I
really?
kind of like that. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it just wasn't perfect. I don't know. I like. It felt like a fun show that I could watch every week. So that's one thing. I mean, a pilot does have to make me at least want to watch the show week after week. I liked. Well, you know what? I'm sure the actor that plays Flash will develop, but he wasn't bad. I just thought he was a little too serious. Like
Oh,
I
really?
yeah, I thought I'm used to Flash making witty remarks and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Um, I don't know. I don't think he had one funny line in the pilot episode, but it worked for what it was. It worked. I mean,
I think he was a very charming character. I really liked the actor Grant Gustin. I wasn't expecting to like him as much as I did, but I think he had a very
mm,
likable, persona on screen. And there was one scene that did make me laugh with him. But I don't think it was meant to be like a very funny scene. Was the part where he was leaving Star Labs for the first time, and he's wearing the Star Lab sweater, and he like
mm,
runs out, and he runs back into the room, and he goes, can I keep this? Just the delivery of that just had
That
me
was.
laughing. And then he runs
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah.
yeah. And there was other, well, not really him, but there was other particular characters like Detective West when the guy's like talking about how he is God. He goes,
Hmm.
I'm God. And he's like, shut the hell up. That's the way he said it was like, that's funny. But I thought there was moments in in the TV series that was really funny. And I'm like looking forward to seeing how it develops. And yeah, I
Oh
know that
yeah.
The Flash, like, in the animated movies and stuff like that is very like, he's kind of like the Spider-Man of the
Hmm.
DC universe in a way when it comes to his wittiness and he's always joking around. The thing is, I don't know how that would work when it comes to a TV series. Like, too much of that will get to a point of you're like, okay, shut up already. Just, do your thing, stop talking, stop making jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. I didn't mind his personality the way it was in this show.
It worked. I mean, it worked for the pilot, and like I said, I'm curious to see where he goes from here. I mean, I really liked it. I was really pleasantly surprised. I did not watch it like months in advance, like some people. I wasn't excited. Honestly, I really didn't care. But I started watching Arrow, and I was like, I love this show. And I've only seen the first season of Arrow, and I'm like, they started hyping up Flash, and I'm like, I guess I'll watch it. And actually, I didn't even know it was gonna be on that night.
Mhm.
I'm looking at TV Guide, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I sat down and watched it. I barely got a chance to watch it. Um, but it was nice. I mean, I worked my butt off that day, and I had to come home, do all my duties in the kitchen, because
Mhm.
to be able to sit down and watch something fun like that, kind of, in a way, it was kind of quirky. It was
Yeah, it's a
kind of
fun
quirky. I
show.
like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
I'm
I
curious
dug it.
though. Okay, I'm curious though. Would have you preferred a movie versus a TV series, or you're satisfied that they went with a TV series versus a movie?
I really like the movie, honestly, because one thing, I mean, a show will allow more development, of course,
Mhm.
but I would just like, okay, we got the Marvel films, and they're great. I love them. They're, great to watch. I want some DC films. I want to be able to. I like watching movies more than I like watching shows, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love TV shows and everything, but like watching a show, just invest. You have to invest so much time
So
that I
much
don't always
time.
have.
Hmm.
Um, and it
And you're
is
worried about getting spoiled too.
exactly. It is frustrating to have to watch a movie show week after week because of spoilers. Uh, I do occasionally let them stack up and kind of have little marathons. But if it were a movie, I think it would have just been satisfying because we would have gotten just a great adventure out of it, a great story. I think, yeah, I think I would have preferred a movie. But,
Yeah, I just think of like the visual effects on a movie budget with the Flash will look
mm-hmm,
absolutely amazing. Like the visual effects in this TV show were pretty decent. I mean, it's something that we've never seen before. Like on Smallville, we've seen some of when Clark goes, runs really fast. And I see a
yeah,
lot of this, similar things with this TV series when it comes to the visual effects with Smallville. Obviously, they're a lot better because Smallville's been like 10 years
mm-hmm,
on the air, and it's been a while. But yeah, I would have preferred to see the Flash on the big screen with that movie budget, like, legit CGI with him running and looking like just so crisp and wonderful. Like I want to see
mm-hmm,
that. And I hopefully this TV series won't deter them from doing a Flash
mm-hmm.
movie or having the Flash appear in any of the DC films because I'll be very upset if they don't do anything with the Flash on the big screen. Because I really
Yeah.
like that's one of the characters I think a lot of Flash fans can all agree with that we want to see him on the silver screen in
Mm.
one form or another.
So yeah, I was satisfied. It was cool that they had the original Flash in there, so that was a
Oh
nice
yeah,
touch.
John Wesley's ship.
There you go.
I guess that's a
Uh,
spoiler in a way. Maybe I don't know. spoiler alert. But yeah, he was in it, which was nice to
Well,
see. They
uh,
you know, they're like, pandering to those who were a fan of that TV series, even though it lasted for one season. That was
mm,
nice to see. But I guess moving from that, from one TV series, we can move on to the next kind of TV series. It's not really a TV series, it's on Netflix, and that's the Daredevil show that's going to be happening. And a lot of stuff from New York Comic Con came out about it. I mean, summary things that came out, and the biggest thing, I guess, is the official photo of how the Daredevil is going to look like, his costume.
mm.
Have you seen the photo?
I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
You're talking about the dark. Uh,
Yes, people
mm,
have been referring to it as Zorro. So the reaction online has been pretty mixed. There's people out there who are kind of upset with the way the suit looks, and
mm,
then there's people out there like, do you read comics? Because the snobby people. But basically they're like, well, because the thing with the costume is that it's based off of a Frank Miller comic book series where
yeah.
Daredevil, when his first costume is this suit. He doesn't jump into having the red suit they were all aware of. And he starts off with this Zorro-looking black suit thing, and I guess they're going with that because it is a TV series, so they kind of have to like regress things and
Mm,
prolong things just to make the TV series interesting. So they don't want to just have him jump into the red suit from the first episode. So I understand where they're going with that, but I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not against it, even though I would have liked to see how the actual red suit. Because I know a lot of people didn't like Ben Affleck's red suit in the Daredevil movie. Like
mm,
they say it wasn't as accurate as they wanted it. So I was curious to see their their design for the suit. Like I wanted to see that, and it's kind of like a little disappointing. It's like, oh, I kind of wanted to see the suit, but I see where they're going, what they're
yeah.
trying to do with that, with like having an origin story of him like not starting off. Like I guess they're trying to base it more on realism than just going, oh, off the bat he wants to become a superhero, so he's gonna have a suit off the bat. But no, it's not gonna be
Mm.
that way. It's gonna be like he has to have that
It has to start from
development.
somewhere.
Yeah, he has to start from somewhere, and he's going to start off fighting crime in sweatpants and whatever the outfit is. He's going to start off like that. So, what are your thoughts on this suit yourself?
Well, I mean, it's like with everything else. Like when people, I don't know, people always overreact. Like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. It's not it. There will be more. It's stage one, I guess.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with it because I don't know how many episodes. Do you know how many episodes it's gonna be?
Honestly, I don't. I would think it's going to be short-lived. Like it is on Netflix, and Netflix series don't really last that many
Yeah,
episodes,
usually
right?
like 10
Yeah,
episodes. Or so.
which is
I
great.
mean,
I think that's how they should go with it.
yeah, I I think that we're gonna see the actual suit later. This is a nice little tease. It's a nice little down to earth interpretation of it. Like I said, he's got to start from somewhere. So I think this is enough to kind of whet my appetite, to kind
Hmm.
of get me to. I mean, look, he's a vigilante. He fights crime. So I am indifferent. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait. It's just, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see where it goes. It does look plain, but
Yeah. I
I
mean, it could
mean,
be awesome. Like I always liked the Daredevil character. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I remember being really excited for the film with Ben Affleck, and how
I
that
will
turned
say
out.
this. I will say this. I don't think he cares how he looks. He's blind, so he's like,
That is very true. Yeah, so he obviously doesn't care how he looks, but I don't know. I guess I'm with you with being kind of indifferent towards this series,
yeah,
but at the same time, I'm interested to see how they develop it in a way that
yeah.
at least it'll be better than what we've seen in the past, at least when it comes to live action Daredevil. I'm really excited to see how the suit looks, like where they go with that, because this is Marvel Studios that's producing this, and they're
Mm-hmm.
pretty good at, making their characters actually look like their comic book characters.
Right.
They don't. don't stray too far away. Even though, like, Captain America, his suit is not accurate to the comics, but I would say overall they're pretty close to, you know, developing the image of the characters to look like their comic book counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think that because Netflix has been putting out some good shows, and I mean, look, who would have thought a website? I don't know. I mean, look, they're already they've been nominated for Emmys. You know, they know that this is a big property. There's a lot at stake. They're not gonna ruin it. I think that I don't know, it's almost like I don't want to say anything because we just need to know more. We just need to wait and see what they have coming out in the future. And I do hope that it's gritty. I do hope that it's, you know, something that of course would not be on regular TV.
yeah.
So we'll see. That's all I can really say is we'll see. You know.
Yeah, like the fact that it's on Netflix, that means they're able to do things that you wouldn't be able to do on like ABC, for example. And hopefully they don't, because Daredevil in a lot of ways is a pretty dark character. Like his story is pretty dark, and I feel like he needs to be a darker character. And I think the fact that they're kind of going with the Frank Miller's storyline with his character when it comes to like his origin story. Wait, one moment. Sorry. One moment.
So, while she goes to check on the door, I will talk to Yoda.
The Force and its wisdom are all around us. Ask your will a yes or no question. Sense the Force in my left hand. Press it and answer you. I will.
Okay, so, Yoda, are we kicking ass with this podcast?
Squeeze too hard, you have.
I barely touched you, man. Jesus. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, you gotta go. I was just having a conversation with Yoda.
Oh, you're having a conversation with Yoda.
Yes. So you gotta go. Are you sad?
Clear your mind of questions.
Okay, no.
Only then the answer will
So,
see.
I had to entertain them somehow. You know.
You can't go wrong with Yoda, I must say. But okay, so I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about something. I can't remember what it was. Being darker than, you know, what we, you know, usually see with Marvel films and stuff like that. You know. Well, there's a comment here from EC Alpha. He says, "I wonder how they'll show Daredevil's sonar." Basically, if you ever watched like the cartoon back in the day with even the kind of the Ben Affleck movie kind of saw it, I guess. Basically, you know, he fights because he has the ability to like hear things in a way, and he's able to see everything through just sound, like the echo or I don't know the technical word for it.
What the hell is it? You know, kind of like a sonar.
Yeah, it's a sonar type of thing that he's able to like see where he's going because of
sound waves.
Yeah. I guess they're gonna go it'll be interesting how they'll do it, because the way they did it in the Ben Affleck film wasn't too shabby. I can't think those were like one of the negative aspects of that movie. But of course I feel like they're gonna do a lot of things. That's what I was trying to say before. That they're gonna do a lot of things that's gonna stray away from like the Ben Affleck movie and just and try to make it more realistic and make it the Frank Miller story. You know how Frank Miller, he doesn't, his stories aren't cookie cutter. His stuff is very dark and gritty. I mean, from the SimCity novels to The Spirit, which the movie itself wasn't great, but it's a gritty thing. And then of course Dark Knight Returns, which Batman v Superman is going to base a lot of its stuff off of. I feel like.
Clearing your mind, are you? Or another question? Will you try?
Yoda, please.
No.
But yeah, I feel like this TV series, I think this is going to be like one of the first like Marvel things where they're going to try to make it based on realism and make it not as light as what we've seen. And I hope the fact that it's on Netflix, that they'll have the ability to do that, because they won't have that restriction like, oh, we're on ABC, we gotta, have that tone, or we're a PG-13 movie under Disney and we can't, do, we can't push the PG-13 rating because we want to cater to children as well. I hope they make it into a Daredevil TV series that caters more to adults than to children.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. Like, that would be awesome. Because again, Daredevil is a very dark character. He's not his story isn't fluffy. It's not,
He's
happy
from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, he's from Hell's Kitchen, New York. Damn it. But yeah, like, his story isn't. Yeah, it's nothing. It's not rainbows and puppy dogs.
No, I mean, it's kind of hard life. So,
yeah.
I mean, there are reports that that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be very adult orientated, and I think we need that. We deserve that. I mean, we have enough PG-13 fun, fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see something good. Let's see some hardcore action, some dramatic storytelling. I mean, I recently got back into comics. We talked about this, and
Yes.
And it's great because like you get to see. Obviously, I'm going to sound like a noob saying this. I mean, everybody who reads comics already knows this, but it's great to see blood surrounding the characters that we come to know. It's okay. You look at Wolverine, your favorite character. Okay, maybe not. To see blood on his claws, dripping off his claws, that we'll never really get to see that on a film. Even the unrated Wolverine film didn't really do. It wasn't really that. It was good. It was good. But I'm talking about like when you look at a comic book. I mean, I've been watching reading Secret Avengers, which this series. There's a new series ongoing. This is like last year's series, and to see people get shot in the head, to see people commit suicide, to see just bodies on the ground with blood puddles. It's like, why can't we really see that in live action? And all I want is Daredevil to be able to do that.
Yeah, because it could be R-rated and they don't. Like, well, what's the last R-rated movie? Oh, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For was the last R-rated comic book movie. I mean, the movie bombed at the box office, and the reason for that is either people were just not interested, and really the movie wasn't that great. And then any previous like R-rated comic book movies that we've seen, I was looking through this Daredevil comic. I was just trying to see something. Like the last R-rated comic book movies we've seen was Watchmen, which also bombed at the box office, and then V for Vendetta, which actually did pretty decent, and then Constantine's another one. And those movies aren't like box office hits, and these studios obviously want box office hits. They want to make as much money as possible, and they want to be able to make toys so they can sell them during Christmas to little children. That's what they really want. But I feel like Daredevil is like one of those characters like Punisher. Like, you can't make a Punisher movie be PG-13, even though they can try. But it's like and of course, Deadpool's another one that people keep debating. But Daredevil, just the name Daredevil, like that's not cookie cutter. That is dark. That is gritty, and they need to make it that. And the fact that it's on Netflix, I hope they don't water it down and remove all the violence, because I'm just looking at these. I was looking at these comics, but like, look at this cover for this Daredevil comic. Look at that blood. There's blood on it. It's not anything that's like light and fluffy. But yeah, personally, I would want to see a dark Daredevil TV series for sure.
Yeah, they have to know that it's not in theaters. You have to worry about people lining up to go see it with little kids. It's something that adults will be able to watch whenever they want, and even kids will be able to watch it. They have access to Netflix, so it's like, screw it. Just give
as long as their parents allow it, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, I watched things a lot worse. I mean, most of the movies, like, I grew up watching Aliens and Alien and Predator and so many R-rated films. It's ridiculous, and it turned out all right.
I grew up watching Terminator and all the Rambos and Frankenhooker and all that. I mean, I'm a decent guy, you know. So, I don't know. Just give us a good show that we can be invested in. Like, I know I shouldn't say this. I know it's like a bad word on your channel and to most people watching, but I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Only because it's fun and it's just escapism and all that. However, I have my time to watch that just to kick back, relax. I'm not invested in it. You know, I don't have an emotional connection to it. It's just something I watch. I want a comic book series that I can actually care for, that I can actually be like, oh no. So hopefully Daredevil will provide that.
Okay. But
I know you're upset because I mentioned that.
No, I'm not upset about that. But I was gonna JTE, aka Josh from the Pros Know, he wrote, I can't stop thinking about how old the TV is next to Gabe.
What TV?
They still make those?
No, they don't still make them, JTE. I mean, you know. I will get a high-def TV eventually in my room. Jesus. You can't do that with a new TV. Hear that? That's hard work went into that.
Yeah, that's definitely hard work. You can also break a toe. EC Alpha wrote that it wouldn't be cool if the Punisher appeared on the Daredevil's TV series.
Yes.
Daredevil can open the gateway for a lot of DC characters. I mean DC, sorry.
Marvel, yeah.
Marvel characters that I don't think would work with the tone the movies are doing right now, but would work great on a Marvel, the Netflix series, because like the Punisher is one of those characters that can show up, and if they make it dark, it could work. So what do you think? You're a big Punisher fan, so what would you think if they did that?
Do it now. No, actually that's perfect because I mean, they have teamed up before, obviously, and like you say, I mean, we're never gonna see that in a film. We're not gonna see Punisher. Well, we might, but it's not gonna be the same. I was gonna say we're not gonna see Punisher fight side by side with the Avengers.
Yeah, because he's not an Avenger character, nor is Daredevil.
No.
Or is like Ghost Rider, for example, is another one that can actually appear in Daredevil and work with that tone. Well, the problem is they don't own any of the Spider-Man things, which is unfortunate because Daredevil and Spider-Man did a lot of crossovers with each other. I remember in the animated series of Spider-Man, Daredevil appeared in it, and also even in the comics, I know that Spider-Man and Daredevil did a lot of stuff together as well. Which is so unfortunate because Spider-Man is one of those characters I think would work pretty well in the Daredevil world as well, but
for sure,
kind of, especially when it comes to like characters like Carnage and Venom, like those characters were like would work.
Yeah,
it makes me really depressed. I'm all depressed, like thinking,
I know.
It's never gonna happen. Sony's stuck with them. We're not stuck with them, but actually Spider-Man's stuck with Sony rather. What else? I mean, if you guys, for those who are watching, if you have any like topics you want us to talk about, any questions, let us know in the comment section below, and we'll try to get to them.
And hopefully they don't disappear, because we had that problem last time.
The last one. I think they will, because it's like appearing really funny. It's like appearing on the sidebar, where which is not normal. I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, if anybody knows how, message Shipper, and we'll try to get that fixed if we do more of these, which I think we will. I think we'll want it.
Josh says, I know there is a VCR hooked up to that TV. Where is it, Gabe?
It's currently in the garage. I'm not using it. Actually, it doesn't work. So there you go.
I
I
actually
can't use
still
it.
have a VCR that actually still works, but I haven't used it in a long time. I had no reason to use it, but it actually still works, which is awesome.
Really, Josh, that's all you can think about is my old school TV.
You gotta put something on top of it, like put a poster there or something to cover it up.
Wow, is it that bad? Jeez. Um, yeah, next time I'll have to put TV. What TV? Oh my gosh.
So,
Fun
is there any?
fact. Fun fact. This TV model, which is from the '90s, appears in Dallas Buyers Club, which takes place in the '80s.
There you
So
go. Well, what are you trying to say that they messed up? That's a goof on them,
they
huh?
did. I'm sorry. Oscar winner, my ass. Shoot, mess up
Oh,
on the TV.
they should take that Oscar back from Matthew McConaughey and give it to Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio, I guess. Now that you pointed it out. But is there anything else that you want to like highlight? Any news or anything that happened, Gabe? If not, I think we talked enough. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much it.
Oh.
Yeah. What?
Well, EC Alpha again wants to know, what did you think of the premiere of Arrow, which you did not see, which I did see.
Yeah.
Honestly, I liked it. The ending of it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that at all. But here is my feelings on Arrow. The first 2 seasons, I binge watched them. Like, I sat and watched them like one big movie. And I feel like the rest of this new season, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to watch it live because I feel like Arrow is one of those shows for me personally that I can't watch it week by week. Like, it's just so many stories going on with the series that I want to know what happens next right away that I can't wait a week in between. And it kind of frustrates me, and I don't want to be frustrated while watching a TV series because the way Arrow works, it always has like a cliffhanger almost at the end. And this premiere actually had a cliffhanger to it. And I was like, now I want to know what's going to happen next. And I don't want to be like that like every week to the point of frustration. So for me, Arrow, I'm going to put it on the back burner. Once the season is done, I'm going to go back and just sit down and just take a day or 2 or 3 or whatever, how long it's going to take me to watch all the episodes and just binge watch it in that way, because I think that's the best way to watch Arrow, in my opinion, because that's how I watched the first 2 seasons, and maybe I wired my brain that way with the TV series, and now that I can't watch it bi-weekly.
What's interesting, I've been thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the first season, binged, of course, and I had to watch the second. And, if I hadn't binge watched the first season, I don't think I would have stayed with it. I think I would have abandoned it. Because it really did not improve until, like, I would say the 8th episode, I started getting invested in it. So, I don't know. I mean, I know I told you should watch it week after week, and then, do what you gotta do throughout the week. But you're right. I do remember cliffhangers with every episode, and I'm like, well, good thing I don't have to wait. Click! So,
Yeah, right, go to the next episode. And I love that. I love the fact that you can watch a whole series or a whole season within like not one sitting, because you got to take a whole day to do that because it's like 23 episodes. But I like the fact that I can able to go from one episode to the other, and I feel like I need to do that with the 3rd season. And like you said, like I remember when it first premiered in season 1, I gave it 3 episodes, and I could not get into it. I just could not get into it. And then I heard people just going on about how great the series was. That I was like, fine, I'll give it a chance. And it was like after the 2nd season ended and everybody was going on about how great the 2nd season was. And like, before anybody spoils anything for me and somebody says something I don't want to hear about it, I better go sit down and watch the series. And, maybe I can watch it in season 3 as the weeks go by. But after watching the premiere, I just know it's like, I can't do it. I need to watch every episode back to back. Like, it's like, the way that the series is just set up, it just feels like one big long movie, and just being cut up into like 23 parts, and I just can't do it.
We'll see. I mean, what I might do once I get caught up is maybe let them stack up. Hulu allows 5 episodes, so maybe I'll let it stack up to 5 episodes and check it out. But I don't know. Because again, I don't want anything spoiled. I already had a couple of things spoiled for season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It's a good show. And I almost never watched it too because people were going on about the second season. I remember my kitchen, it has this big, empty space where you can see through the next room. So my sister used to watch the second season. I used to just always see action going on and people yelling and being all dramatic. And I'm like, is this show any good? So I ended up watching the first season, and I was like, because I saw the pilot. I remember seeing the pilot, and I'm like, I don't think so. But binge watching the first season, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. My sister kept telling me, stick with it. I'm like, okay. I put the knife down, and I'm like, okay. And I ended up being incredibly satisfied. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Josh is still on you. He says, after seeing Gabe's TV, I feel much better about the Laserdisc player I bought him for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Josh.
Don't you own Laserdiscs? No, you don't.
No,
They're too damn expensive. I remember those. I remember Laserdiscs. Oh my god, those things. How long were that fad for? For probably maybe a year, and then it was just like gone.
No, longer than that. I mean,
longer than that. I don't know. Like I remember them coming out, and like I remember my school actually buying a Laserdisc player to watch like The Little Mermaid and stuff like that. I always thinking it was so ridiculous even back then. I was like, that's so stupid. Why why a record? It was almost like a record.
And the fact that you had to flip it over, it's like, what?
Oh yeah, to watch the other part. It's like, okay.
I remember wanting Laserdiscs only because they came with widescreen editions, and I wanted there's so many movies I wanted to see them in widescreen, but it was like I'm not going to pay. Well, I'm not gonna have my parents. I was a kid. I'm not gonna have my parents pay $30 for one movie. So.
They were that expensive? Jesus.
At least $30. There was some that ran about $60.
Yeah, they were pretty expensive. Only rich people had that. Yeah, really, rich people.
Definitely not us.
Yeah, I honestly did not know one person that owned one that I can even remember. No family members, nobody in my neighborhood, nobody I knew owned one. It was like, another question. Easily Alpha wants to know what we thought about Gotham. This is the thing about Gotham. We did a live hangout on Gotham. It's on this channel. You can check it out. Like we go in on Gotham on that live hangout. So if you're curious to hear what we think of it, at least the pilot episode. Summary of that is we really liked it.
Really liked it. And I will say a lot. Yeah, and I will say each week gets me more and more hyped up. I get more and more invested in it. So it's on the right track. It is definitely on the right track. Counterpart. Oh my god, that guy's sadistic. I love it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the upcoming episode tomorrow, actually. Because we get to see Arkham City, which I'm looking forward to seeing that being a thing on the series. But overall, I'm very pleased with the series. I know there's people out there that don't really care for it, but that's okay because I like it. I like it a lot, as I said. So I think that will wrap this hangout. I think we've been here for a while. Let me see how long have we been here. For over an hour. So I think.
Well, at least we improved. Last time it was like 2 hours. So.
Yeah, right. Because that was about Gotham, and we just kept talking about Gotham. How much we loved the pilot episode. But I just want to thank everybody who joined us. I want to thank everybody who posted a comment. Thank you very much for taking part in this hangout, and hopefully we'll do more later on.
Yeah.
What our next hangout is going to be about, I'm not exactly sure. We'll come up with something when it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
it might be a while because we both have things going on. Kind of interrupt our passion.
Yeah, I won't have any free time for next week. Definitely won't have any free time. So, but yeah, Gabe, do you want to say anything? You want to plug your channel or whatever you
Not
want to
really.
do?
My channel sucks. No,
His
yeah, I
link is in the
guess
description. His link is in the
it's in the
description.
description. Take it as you will. I was doing a monthly, a month challenge where I do a video every month, but I'm kind of skipped out on a couple of days. Yeah, subscribe and I might surprise you with a good video once in a while. Give you a lot of shit crap videos, but I might give you a good video once in a while. Maybe I'll include Yoda in the next one. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you, thank you, Shipper, for having me once again.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Thank you for joining me once again.
okay,
But
anytime, shoot.
okay.
You know,
So
I
with
don't care what my family's doing.
that,
They're moving boxes and they're breaking the box. I'm online with Shipper. That's all that matters.
you're chilling.
I'm
Well, with
chilling.
that said, we are out. Thank you all for watching again, and bye.